Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Friday night. We made it. We made it to the weekend. Yes. Another deadly virus outbreak. There is a country that is racing to try to contain this deadly outbreak. I will get to that here in just a moment. I noticed this story actually yesterday. I didn't have a chance to do a video last night. We've been very busy here with family, with church, and just life. So I will go more into that here in a minute. But there's a couple of other breaking news items I wanted to go over. Some of these y'all may have already heard of, but I want to weigh in on them. I noticed that the price of oil per barrel is right at or over $90, $90 a barrel, which is going to make the price of gasoline just keep going up. If you think it's been high, of course, since the current administration took in from day one, but it will probably go up even more than it is now. With that said, here in Georgia, now those of you in Georgia, our governor, Brian Kemp, has suspended the gasoline tax. I don't know if that's went into effect already, but I've noticed that it's gone down a bit here. I've seen it as low as $3.29 a gallon here, which is the lowest I've seen in a while. But it's typically, I know what I see mostly around here is about $3.49. I've seen some $3.59. Again, I've seen it as low as $3.29 though. So some of y'all, I know out west and Midwest, I've heard the Midwest is going up a lot. Up in the north, even the Northeast. And I know out west, you guys have been dealing with high gasoline prices for forever. I know. So, but prepare. That's going to keep going up. May want to really look at propane too, especially with the winter coming up. Stock up on the propane if that's something you use, All right. Notice that the unions are striking. The automakers union is on strike. This was effective, I guess, at midnight last night or today. So the automakers for basically the big three, you got Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, which under the Stellantis has a lot of other little brands, but that includes Dodge, Ram, Jeep vehicles. I think they also do maybe Jaguar, I think it is, Fiat, so which y'all, I know I shouldn't get off on this tangent, but if you get one of those vehicles, change the oil, man. Change the oil every 3,000 to 5,000 religiously, and be gentle with it, and you might be okay. But anyway, I can't help it. But yeah, that'll be interesting. So this is a big deal. This is a big strike. So a lot of stories out there about how the automakers, especially these three, have been making record profits. I think I guess all the automakers have been doing this, but the prices have gone sky high, especially in the last few years, especially in the last year or so. It's unreal. It's unreal. So the automakers are like, hey, unions, hey, we need to share the love, share the profits. I haven't delved deep into this to really know a lot about it, but I just heard that there was a strike. So it's very interesting to see how long it'll go, what comes out of this. Hey, maybe the workers will get some higher pay. Maybe some other industries need to go on strike, I mean, the inflation just keeps busting our butts. And if you even get a raise, it's not going to be enough to even come close to keeping up pace with inflation. So that's a thought. That's just a thought. Okay, India. India, from multiple reports, is racing to contain this deadly virus outbreak. And I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right, but it's called the Nipah virus, Nipah virus. Now, this is an outbreak that has occurred in Kerala, Kerela. Now, this is a southern state of the country of India. They are reporting human-to-human transmissions on this. But the virus, they said that hundreds of people have been tested. At least 2 have passed away. Now, they say this virus has a very high fatality rate, up to 75%. That's unreal now. I mean, if you think about it, if this thing were to really blow up, a 75% fatality rate is beyond catastrophic. I mean, 20% would be catastrophic. To give you an idea of the scale, the last health crisis we had with the Mr. 19 was what, a 1%? Probably less than 1% fatality rate. And look what it did as a result of that health crisis. What happened to the supply chains and how everything stopped. Still trying to recover from all that mess. So compare that with a 75%. Everything would stop quickly. So that would be massive SHTF, okay, on a mass scale. They say about 800 people have been tested for this in the southern state there. They're testing humans and collecting fluid samples from forested areas that could be a hotspot for this spread. One official said, "We are in a stage of hypervigilance and detection." They've closed public offices, government buildings, and religious institutions. That's interesting. They've all been shuttered. Got to shut down the churches. Can't have them going, eh? Sounds familiar. This virus has been linked to fruit bats. Bats, that sounds familiar too, doesn't it? What could go wrong? A virus that comes from bats, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? They say this is a bat-borne virus with a high mortality rate. Some of the symptoms are fever, headache, acute respiratory infection, pain in the muscles, and vomiting. Sounds not pleasant. But a bat-borne virus, but they say there is they have noticed human-to-human transmission, which is troubling. Now, so far, this looks like it's been so far contained to that part of India. So we'll keep an eye on this one. We need to keep an eye. I'm going to keep an eye on this as much as possible. Oddly enough, of course, you're not going to be too surprised at this. There was an article, and I'm going to try to pull it up here, but I can't. I have to find it again, and I may try to post it in the description down there. But there was an article from March of 2021 that talked about this virus. They named it as being a possible candidate for the next pandemic. Very interesting. And it talked about how they have treatments and or have been talking about developing the medicines for it, if you know what I mean, to treat it. So I thought that was super interesting from March of 2021. So again, we'll have to really keep an eye on this one. I don't know. I have a feeling that if this is not the one, then something's going to come up and really do it. I don't think the current health crisis, or the one that just keeps having variants and all, the current variant, I don't think that's going to be a big one. I think there's a lot of chatter about people masking up and doing this and that, but I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to be something else. Okay. All right. But again, we're getting closer to election season, so we have to really be on the ready. Okay, I have a very good passage I'm going to share here. It is from, let me get my ducks in a row here. It is from the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. Now this is from, let's see, where is this? Let me find it here. Where is it? Yes, okay. Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. And I love it when you see references to going from the Old Testament to the New Testament. and when he prophesied Jesus. And this is called the Son of Man is given dominion. Starting at chapter 13 and going through 14. It says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven, there came one like a son of man, and he came to the Ancient of Days and was presented before him. And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom one that shall not be destroyed. Amen. Amen. Daniel was it was a very interesting one, and I think that again, it's a big boost to when you see references and talking about Jesus from the Old Testament, right? So I just wanted to share that, something a little different. Get back into the Old Testament sometimes. All right. Share your thoughts on that. Share your thoughts on this other scare here. So we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on things. Let's continue to prepare. Let's stay close to Jesus. Be safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.